Hoverboards. They're expensive, impractical, and dangerous. For most people, but not for me. If you can get them really cheap, used, or broken, they can be much more than that. Use them to churn butter, or power your home. But now I'm building something I've wanted to build for a long time. A powered go-kart. Okay, so the power system is currently pretty janky. It is powered by a 4 amp hour 36 volt hoverboard battery in series with two RC car batteries that are in parallel for a voltage of 52 volts and a capacity of 4 amp hour. This alligator clip is meant to connect the two batteries in series, and you'll notice it has a little string. That string is so that if things go wrong, I can rip it and I stop, or at least I don't get powered anymore. The throttle system, however, is slightly more sophisticated, and I'll explain why later. But first, we need to test it. Sure, it's great and all, quite powerful even, but I want some more power. The only problem with that is Mr. Hoverboard Battery is already smoking at 40 amps here, and doubling the power is going to be 80, because, well, we're doubling the power. And even 40 is a stretch for this battery, but 80, no way, it's not going to take 80. Okay, I think we've established that to upgrade the power, we're going to need to upgrade the battery. 15 amp hours. Unfortunately, this battery is only a 36 volt battery, 42 when fully charged. It's almost fully charged. And you'll know that's a problem if you remember I've been running this off 52 volts for more speed. 36 volts is powerful and all, but it only gets up to like 12 miles an hour, and that's not good enough. But before we get carried away building another battery to go in series with that battery, we actually have to make the power upgrade. And this is pretty easy. What we're going to do is just make it 4-wheel drive. And I mean 4 back wheels. The 2 front wheels still won't be powered. I was planning on powering them, but this being so much work, I gave up. And you're listening to Pink Floyd, sped up 20%. Sorry, 20 times. We already built the frame and attached the wheels. Right now we're just wiring up all the boards. That was me soldering on some even more on-brand connectors. These bad boys have 10 gauge wire and can easily take the 80 amps we need. You might have noticed in this freeze frame, the bottom of the wheel board is where we decided to put the wires. Yeah, that's going to be a problem that we ignore. There we go.
That's great.
So, in the embarrassingly long time it took us to build the back wheel board, it got dark outside, but we still wanted to attach it and test it anyway, so we came up with some solutions.
Yeah, I measured right. Look at that.
Yeah.
That needs to get pulled through. That needs to not get caught under.
As I said before, our genius brains who decided to attach the wires to the bottom of the back wheel board, well, those wires are now going to get crushed between the two boards, which we're going to hope is fine.
Keeps it all nice. Hopefully the wires don't get crushed.
Okay, need something to hold it up for now, and then some screws. All right, stop. All good. Light of lights will now be lighted.
Yeah, load that up.
There we go. Now we got some light. Light to work with. Okay, so it started raining, so we covered the sensitive electronics with a bag and hope it's fine.
Yeah, we'll be good. You can kind of see it on the
Center
table
it
there.
for sure. Okay, that's centered enough. I am going to put screws in and hope that everything works out.
He's gonna cut a wire.
I'm gonna test it not on the ground right now for just a little bit. A little bit of a. Would you look at that?
Those wheels do seem to be working.
Don't worry, I did test them inside before I brought it out.
Sorry for the shaky cam.
We could wait until tomorrow and then test it. Nah, let's do it now.
It finally works, and we want to test it, and it's dark outside and it's raining, and the only reason we have light is Mr. Light of Lights here, and a headlight, which is just a flashlight.
just a single flashlight. It's
Stuck to the bottom of the chair.
Our legs will probably cover it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
it's perfectly fine.
The ultimate setup. Okay. I think I like smoking a little bit, honestly.
Oh, I smell it. That's the duct tape for sure.
Yeah, it's not doing too hot.
Okay, so we went and tested it
Okay,
and
so the
everything
duct
broke,
tape
and then my
pulled
friend
in
had
the
to go
lights
home,
into the light of
and it was
lights
getting really
has
dark and
melted,
cold out,
and
and
one
I
of the
fixed it
light
by
bulbs
myself,
has
and I didn't even test it. I just fixed it.
We now have 6 out of 10. We had a little bit of a development, and that development is 2 of the boards randomly died for no reason. One of them mostly died, one of them completely died. So I replaced them, and I think one of the issues is when I turn it on, it makes a massive spark, and I have a feeling that's cooking them. But then, to actually clamp the wire, I have to keep sparking it until I get that open and can clamp it. That can't be good for them. My other theory, however,
That turned out to be right in the
is
end.
that the wires of the boards keep slipping out because the actual terminals of these boards are actually the terminals are quite good, but the specific wires that the hoverboard uses are pretty bad and can slip out of the terminals quite easily. So I'm thinking that may be one of the reasons, because when the wire slipped out, I'm guessing the faulty connection for some reason puts more strain on some of the transistors and cooks the control chip here, which then cooks the transistors, and then everything's cooked.
So the first problem of the wires slipping out, we just fixed by crushing the wires in there and tightening the screws more. And surprisingly, that eventually actually worked.
So the yellow one is loose. I'm probably gonna mush it in there further.
The green one completely came out.
And the green one, yeah, the green one's just gone. Mush that in there.
And to fix the inrush current problem, I just did
That we
this.
tap it first, and then we can connect the main wire, so it doesn't give it as much of a shock. And now they all work. Look at this. I mean, it also might just be the high power killing them. I suppose we'll see if it's the high power when we actually try to use it.
But that'll have to wait till tomorrow morning
they all
when
work
the
again.
sun replaces the light of lights.
Hooray. Don't know how long that'll last. It is next morning, and we have a problem that's just enough of a problem to be considered a problem. This wheel's on the ground fine, but that wheel is not touching the ground. When I get on, it's sort of touching the ground, but it still slips a lot at full power. So I'm going to fix this problem with popsicle sticks.
For testing, we can use the RC car battery. But that's only a 6 amp hour battery, which is fine to put in series with a 4 amp hour battery, but it's not fine to put in series with a 15 amp hour battery.
Oh, it's got some juice. Oh my God!
So the test went pretty well, but we can't keep doing this, otherwise we'll kill the RC car battery.
It's really powerful. And one of the boards cooked. And that makes 3.
As you've probably been able to guess, these hoverboard motors are a type of brushless DC motor. This means they have 3 phases, which are labeled A, B, and C. These 3 phases are connected in a circle with one point between each of the phases, and those are the points that get connected to wires. The board has 3 corresponding terminals, A, B, and C, that are each powered by 2 transistors, one that switches them to positive and one that switches them to ground, so that they can power any of the phases individually. But that's not the only thing we need to drive a motor. These 5 wires I'm drawing now include 5 volts ground and A, B, and C, but they're lowercase. These are input wires from the motor that tell the board where the ring of magnets is with respect to the core. Using this information, a little black rectangle with magic going on inside of it tells the transistors when to turn on and off to make the motor turn according to yet another set of input wires, which I'll draw now. These wires are a 5 volt, a 0 to 5 volt input that controls speed, a ground, a direction control that switches the direction when you ground it, a brake, and a stop function, which I rarely use. The throttle and brake system is controlled by 2 switches. One switch switches 5 volts to the 0 to 5 volt input, telling the little black box that I don't understand to tell the transistors to turn on full power. When I press the other switch, 5 volts is switched to the brake input, which is full active from 2.5 to 5 volts. It's not an analog input like the throttle is, although for me, neither of them are analog inputs because I didn't bother to use a potentiometer. I just used a switch. When the brake line receives 5 volts, the magic chip will tell the transistors to basically short the motor, and that slows it down. When the board died, only one of the terminals actually died. That means the 2 other terminals still worked, and since one of the phases has to do with only those other 2 terminals, that one phase still worked, but the other 2 didn't. When the motor is in such a position that that phase should be powered, that phase powers normally. But when that phase shouldn't be powered, i.e. it would push the motor backwards if it was powered, no phases are powered because the other 2 can't be powered. These motors are designed in such a way that the power draw is perfectly constant and they turn smoothly. But now, one of the phases is powered some of the time and no phases are powered the rest of the time. And that creates an uneven power draw, which you can hear as an audible buzz. And that's how I knew the board had died when it died. The wheels
Are beginning to fall off. They might need some tightening.
And now it's time to do the thing that I've been avoiding for a while. Replacing
Okay,
the RC car
so-
battery with something better.
I'm now going to replace the RC car battery with something else better, and since the boards have been cooking pretty regularly, I'm only going to do 3S instead of 4S, and I'm going to make it slightly larger than the 36 volt battery that I have already. Ooh, look, the cells are orange. That's cool.
And to make this battery, I'll be using the cells from the hoverboard battery. And quite a few extras, since that won't be enough. And now it's time to put back together those cells I just took apart. And some extras. Only this time it'll be 3S8P instead of 10S2P. Although I'll later have to change it to 10P, as you'll see.
those 2 points touch, bad things will continue to happen.
You should probably cover it with tape. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll do it later.
Okay, now with the homemade battery and this one, we got an easy 15 amp hours total. That's gonna last a while. Hit the gas, hit the electricity.
This is stupid.
And all 4 wheels still work.
Nice. And
Remember when I said I was making a battery to go in series with the 36-volt battery, and I said that it would be bigger than the 36-volt battery?
okay,
Well, it
so
wasn't.
Turns out this thing, which should have been easily large enough to go in series with this thing, is not even close to big enough to go in series with it. So we're gonna add these.
First, I tin the 10-gauge copper bus bar. Then I put the wire on there and solder it to it. Then I cut the end of the wire, strip it a little ways, split the end into 2 different thinner wires, and solder each of those to one of the batteries. And then I do that 5 times, plus the other times I had to do it when I was making the battery first. And now the battery should be about 16 amp hours, which is enough. But what is the capacity of the other battery?
9.9 volts, and we have 14.75 amp hours, which is only a
Wait,
little less than the
29.9
advertised
volts?
15.
I thought you said the charged voltage was
Let's
42.
see.
Well, it is. I'm running that 29.9 volts in series with another 12 volts because my power supply can't go up to 42 volts.
The LEDs say the same thing. Yes, they do.
The blue one indicates when it's gone below 35 volts. The green one indicates when it's gone below 27 volts and is no longer usable, fully discharged. Do you hate that the chair is an office chair and it swivels? Well, do I have news for you. You can replace the chair with a chair. First, you'll need to take off the chair. Step 2, remove the back wheel from the chair. Step 2, add eggs. Step 3, build a new frame from new 2x4s. Step 4, your front wheel board sucks. Build a new one. Oh, you broke one of the wheels. Replace the wheels. Step 5, do a strength test. Wow, that strength test was rather conclusive. Replace the 2x4, or just stand there for a minute. No, I think you should replace them. Step 7, get the chair. Step 8, test the fit. Ah, perfect. Step 8, attach the chair.
How do you think we're gonna attach that? There are always 2 sides to a chair. And out of pure luck, the inside diameter of the legs of the chair is the exact outside diameter of the 2x4s. Pure luck. That's only true for the back legs, though. The front legs, we're gonna have to figure something out.
You stripped the threads of the screw. Back it out and try a different location.
what to do about that.
We're gonna go ahead and pretend that didn't happen.
This is
You
very
dumb.
bad.
You split the board.
Okay, this time I'll pre-drill a hole for it.
What a good idea. Maybe you should have done that to start with.
Oh yeah, guys. Just got a new drill.
Wow, that's so cool. Are you gonna show off your new saw too? That was like 20 bucks. That is one dull drill bit and a lot of nice smoke.
And of course, our beautiful spacer here. 3 popsicle sticks and a 1x2. Done myself.
You'll need to cut off the chair legs, but please turn it upside down first.
Okay, we're gonna make this easier and turn the chair on its side. Well,
Next, you'll need to cut off the excess 2x4s. Sped up, they sound like Jenga bricks. Step 8. Remove the chair. Step 8. Take it all outside.
the new spacers are going to be the bottom of the chair legs because they're about the right.
Step 9. Reattach the chair that you so meticulously attached once before, but had to take it off to bring it outside.
And the chair does appear to be attached. Pretty good. Oh, never mind. Should probably tighten those. Maybe. Yeah, I think I should probably tighten those.
And now,
Next, chair.